Good morning. How are you guys? Are you ready to sew today? I just want to talk about a couple things so that we can wait for people to get on board and I can see your smiling faces. Let me know if you're there. Okay? Oh, I forgot something. My trough. My trough of caffeine. Let me get it. Alethea, who has been on the Quilt Show, I loved her show, gave me my trough. All right. So, good. We got people here. Let me address a couple things before we get going. We all know that there are calls out for face masks out of fabric. And what I have done is I'm trying to find out what do hospitals need, what will they use, whatever. And here in the Bay Area, I called two nurses and a doctor, actually, somebody really high up in the hospital system, and then another one up in Sacramento, a nurse. And I think it depends on your area of whether or not they can use them. If I took them over to my hospital, they probably would throw them away. But at this point, but it's my understanding up in Portland, it's not so. So check with your local hospital and see if they are accepting donations of face masks, because it'd be nothing more horrible than making all this stuff and then just having the hospital's burden with what they have to throw away. But I loved this idea. One person said, okay, so what if you make yourself a face mask? And then if you have the white ones at home, that are unopened yet, you can give that to your local hospital. So in the meantime, while we're sewing today, I'm going to try and find out more information about this. And if there's something that is a super need out there, we'll do another sew in. Okay. And I mean, if they need them today, they're going to need them Monday. But in the meantime, may I say, Happy International Quilting Weekend! Woohoo! We're here. We're going to sew all day. I wanted to tell you another really fun thing. I can't do it here because it's raining, but the Quilt Alliance has asked people, get ready for this, to hang a quilt in their front yard for their neighbors to enjoy. So when you're going up to do a potty break or something like that, you might want to consider the same thing. Okay. So yesterday at my meeting, the other is collecting masks. Okay, I want to hear from doctors. I want to hear from nurses. I do not want to hear what we're hearing online. I want straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, so back to the mask thing. So, but moving on. Yesterday, I told you to go to your closet and pick out something that might inspire you for color. And some of you are like, I can't cut anything up. And I said, I didn't tell you you had to cut things up. But don't be surprised if I cut mine up. So let me just recap what I did here. John has a whole new system. Okay. Oh, somebody just said when you call your local hospital, ask to talk to the infectious nurse person, and you can read that there. I think our hearts are all in the right place. So here is what I chose from my closet. I bought it, I think, when I was at a super seminar with Ricky at some museum, and I've been very disappointed with the fabric. It's like split and frayed and all that. But it's really, really flimsy, I will tell you. So I have started facing sections of it. I am facing it with my product fabric prep, all right? For silk Dupianis, you only need one layer, but for this, you need two layers. The other thing is that, let me bring this over to here. This technology is something else. I also, on my ironing surface, I have ironed down freezer paper, because when I work with silk Dupianis, which is what I'm going to be working on, sometimes they bleed onto the ironing surface. So this will help a little bit. I've got my cutting mat, I've got my ruler, and I have my iron ready to go. And my sewing machine is all geared up. So I told you to pick out some fabrics. Oh, and then somebody said, can I just pick from my stash? Of course you can. This is International Quilting Weekend. You can do whatever you want, okay? It's our time to be together. This is kind of what I'm going to be working on with my silks. This is a piece that it's still in progress. You can see it right here. It's still in progress. I'm in the quilting stage, but I'm pretty darn happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to do something like this, and maybe I'll donate it to IQA next year or something like that. So another person said, I feel like my mojo has just flown out the window. Let me tell you about this quilt. I was talking to Ricky Timms about a month ago, and I said, don't you tell anybody, don't tell, but I've lost my mojo. And he said, this is what you're going to do. He said, you're going to just sit down and make, because that's what you do. And I sat down and I started playing with my silks, and I started making, and I came out of my thing. So for those of you that feel like your mojo's been thrown under the bus a little bit, just get some fabric and start sewing it together. So I'm hoping that all of you have identified, number one, what fabric set you're going to work with. Number two, what block or pattern or free form you're going to do. And then number three, we're going to do it, okay? My plan for today is that at 10 o'clock, it is 10 o'clock, it's past 10 o'clock. Every hour, at the top of the hour, I will check back in with you guys, all right? And I'll show you how I'm doing. You can put your progress on your Facebook page and hashtag it Quilters Quarantine, and then it will show in our Quilters Quarantine little play group. Or yesterday, somebody actually posted on the TQS Facebook, and a picture came up. So guys, this is all new for me. So forgive me if this is bumpy or whatever. We're just going to do this together. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me turn back on this camera. I think I'm going to start with a wonky log cabin. Deb and Holly, quit talking to each other, please. Can't get the camera to go. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is, are we ready to start sewing, you guys? Are we ready to do this? And I'm just looking at comments. Hey, Paula, we good? So does everybody have their fabric? Everybody have their block? And one little tip. When I was making this particular piece, it was made in sections. If you're going to do something wonky and weird, and I worked in multiples of 6, 9, and 12. And so then I could put the whole thing together. So that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to figure out what size I'm going to work in multiples of, and then there we go. Okay, I'm going to, should I leave this camera on, or should I turn it off? You know what? I'm going to turn it off right now, and then we will see you guys top of the hour, okay? See ya. Okay, and